Today, we have Sky Professor Krishmurli Ishwar with us on the power of alpha brain waves. Professor Krishmurli Ishwar, associated with World Community Service Center since 1984, currently heading the IT Directorate. His 900 plus videos and audio podcasts are quite popular in the social media. His innovative techniques has helped to spread Sky Yoga system all over the world. Thank you very much, Professor. Over to you now for the power of alpha brainwaves. With like all listeners, I am also very keen to listen to this topic. Be blessed by the divine.
Walhavalamudan, be blessed by the divine. The power of the alpha mind, the power of the alpha waves. Do you know you share everything with your best friend, even your brain waves? You will find that your best friend has a lot of things that are similar to yours. Similar age perhaps, race, religion, socio-economic status, education level, political leaning, even physical strength perhaps. New research suggests that the roots of friendship extend even deeper than previously suspected. Scientists have found that the brains of close friends respond in remarkably similar ways as they view a series of short videos. The same ebbs and swells of attention and distraction, the same peaking of reward processing here, boredom alerts there, etc., etc. All these neural response patterns evoked by the videos proved so congruent among friends compared to patterns seen among people who were not friends. Researchers could predict the strength of two people's social bond based on their brain scans alone. There is another fascinating study that found that each individual can be identified based on their own brain waves, and it is 100% accurate. Fingerprints are unique for human beings, you would know. Brain prints can one day replace fingerprints. Researchers in Birmingham University have found an efficient way to identify people using brain waves. You react differently to a gulab jamun. I react differently to a rasagulla. Someone else reacts differently to a piece of cake. So words, foods, celebrities, environment, stimuli such as these will create certain brain waves in our brain, and these brain waves are unique to ourselves. No two people will show the same brain pattern when presented an image of, say, a dog. This led researchers to look into how this can be applied to security and identification. They tested the brain activity of 50 individuals who wore electroencephalogram devices as they were shown 500 images. The result? Significant discrepancies in brain activity that was enough to define brain print with 100% accuracy. While two friends could evoke similar thought patterns, they are still individually easy to be brain printed. They are similar but not the same. Each person has his or her own unique brain wave signature. What are these brain waves and how does this function? There are 5 different brain waves: gamma, beta, alpha, theta, delta. Gamma waves are involved in very high frequencies, and scientists say we really don't know much about it. Let's ignore that. So let's start with delta waves. Delta waves are associated with normal waking consciousness and a heightened state of alertness. Alpha waves are dominant during quietly flowing thoughts, daydream, or during light meditation. Theta waves are associated with dreamless state of mind, deep meditation, vivid imagery, intuition, information beyond normal consciousness awareness. Delta waves are associated in a coma state or in a deep dreamless sleep and in very deep transcendental state of meditation, beta waves are within 14 cycles per second to 40 cycles per second. Alpha waves are between 8 and 12 and a half, 13 cycles per second. Theta waves are between 4 and 8 cycles per second. Delta waves are between zero point 0.5 and 4 cycles per second. Today, we are interested in alpha brain waves. In 1924, German physiologist and psychiatrist Hans Berger recorded the first human EEG. Berger invented the electroencephalogram and gave the device its name. At the root of all our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors is communication between the brain neurons. Brain waves are produced by synchronized electrical pulses from masses of neurons communicating with each other. Our brain waves change throughout the day and are part of a feedback loop that is influenced by what we are doing, what we are thinking, feeling emotionally at any given point of time, or even while we sleep. Alpha waves are present when our brain is in an idling default state, typically created when we are daydreaming or consciously practicing meditation. Alpha waves can also be created by doing certain simplified physical exercises or through effort requiring concentration or deep research. Alpha waves took center stage in the early 1960s and 70s with the creation of biofeedback, a technique used to consciously alter brain waves using direct feedback provided by an EEG type of device. Biofeedback is a type of neurofeedback typically used to teach practitioners how to create alpha brain waves. When alpha oscillations are prominent in our brain, our sensory inputs tend to be minimized. So we overcome temptations to sensual intoxication. And our brain, our mind, therefore, is generally clear of unwanted thoughts. When our brain shifts gears to focus on a specific thought in either a positive or a negative way, alpha oscillations tend to disappear and higher frequency oscillations begin running the show. Alpha wave biofeedback has been shown to be a useful tool for treating anxiety and depression. Because alpha waves are linked with relaxed mental states, an increase in alpha wave activity is the goal for most biofeedback training. EEG can be used to provide moment-to-moment feedback when alpha waves increase or decrease. Meditation training tend to produce noticeably more alpha waves without the use of technological machinery and considered to be the safest and healthiest way of producing alpha wave biofeedback. Brown University, neuroscientists at Brown University are doing research on how the brain achieves optimal inattention by changing the synchronization of brain waves between different brain regions. Their 2015 study, Attention Drives Synchronization of Alpha and Beta Rhythms between Right Inferior Frontal and Primary Sensory Neocortex, was published in the Journal of Neuroscience. You must study it. It's a very intriguing research study indeed. You can Google this and you can pick up this study report from the internet. The Brown researchers hope that teaching people how to harness the power to ignore by creating an alpha brain state through meditation will enable anyone who suffers from chronic pain to reduce perceptions of pain, and for people who have depression or anxiety to minimize their symptoms. We will spend a few minutes a little later today discussing about neuroscience-based ways to clear your mind. A new study from the University of North Carolina School of Medicine has identified the first evidence that a low dose of electric current of 10 hertz, 10 cycles per second, can enhance the alpha brainwave activity and boost creativity, but approximately 7.5% in healthy adults. In 2015 study, Functional Role of Frontal Alpha Oscillations in Creativity was published in the journal Cortex. In a press release, Flavio Froelich, Assistant Professor of Psychiatry, Cell Biology and Physiology, Biomedical Engineering and Neurology at UNC, he said, "This study is proof of concept. We provided the first evidence that specifically enhancing alpha oscillations is a causal trigger of a specific and complex behavior, in this case, creativity." But their goal was to use this approach to help people with neurological and psychiatric illnesses. For instance, there is believed to be strong evidence that people with depression have impaired alpha oscillations. If only scientists could enhance these brain activity patterns, then we could potentially help millions of people who are suffering from psychiatric illnesses or neurological illnesses. Don't you agree? Alpha oscillations could be a meaningful, non-invasive, and inexpensive treatment paradigm for those people. After all, it is proven that alpha oscillations help us, normal human beings like you and me, to improve our creativity. In a breakthrough discovery, neuroscientists led by Harvard Medical School researchers at the VA Boston healthcare system have identified a specific class of neurons, basal forebrain GABA paravalbumin neurons or PV neurons, that trigger the creation of various brain waves that are linked to various states of consciousness. The 2015 study was published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. You should read that as well. Co-senior author of that study, Robert McCarley, he is the HMS Professor of Psychiatry and Head of Department of Psychiatry at Boston VA Medical Center. He gave a press release. This is a move toward a unified theory of consciousness control. We have known that the basal forebrain is important in tuning consciousness on and off in sleep and wake. But now we have found that these specific cells also play a key role in triggering the synchronized rhythms that characterize conscious thought, perception, and problem solving. This could lead the scientists to understand how our brains coherently fire neurons to organize perception and analysis of data from the world around us. What the scientists have found is that the PV neurons in the basal forebrain fine-tune cognition by putting into motion the oscillations required for higher thinking. That means the alpha brain of the human is highly beneficial in recognizing reality and adjusting one's consciousness and conscious actions to suit with the present day conditions. For instance, one could wake up early in the morning and expect the wife to wake up and make coffee for you. But the wife may be sick. One could expect promotions from the boss. But the reality is such that people are losing jobs and all promotions and all salary increments were put on hold due to COVID-19 pandemic. So the brain has to accept this reality. Only a person with strong alpha brain waves will be able to relate to the reality and adjust to the present day conditions. If you don't have sufficient strength of alpha brain waves, then the brain cannot adjust to the reality, and that could create hallucinations, that could create all kinds of emotional response, and that could make you violent, or that could make you really sad. Well, that could also make you want to hurt someone else. Altruistic behavior is possible. The ability to empathize with others and try and help them overcome their pain improves in a human being when cognition increases due to alpha brain waves in the human brain. The human brain is enormously powerful, you see. It can ignore distractions. It can focus on what it wants to focus on. So, pratyahara, withdrawal, not engaging your brain or your mind with sensory perceptions or sensory stimulations, is starting point for meditation. When you begin not to get distracted by sound externally, your brain begins to function at low beta, high alpha, around 14, 15, 16, 17 cycles per second, which is a great practice. Even a child could practice this and begin to achieve or begin to experience mild alpha frequency waves, and that could calm the brain of distractions and disturbances. Brain can quickly switch, you see. Supposing you are focusing on listening to the speech and somebody is at the door ringing the bell, the brain will switch off from listening to the speech and go and attend to the door. This flip-flop mechanism that the brain has is otherwise sometimes called as the monkey brain. We do have distractions in our brain and we respond to external stimuli, especially through the sensory organs. There is a need for another practice. This is dharana, concentration, taking a Om symbol or focusing on a lamp, focusing on a dot, focusing on an object, or chanting repeatedly certain verses. You could improve concentration power. The Brown research study by Catherine Kerr, who is an assistant professor in Albert Medical School, found that people can learn how to manipulate their alpha rhythms in the somatosensory cortex as we switch our attentional focus through meditation training. So through meditation, we could redirect attention via control of alpha rhythms in the brain, which can help people ignore depressive thoughts, obsessive thoughts, compulsive thoughts. And this is really cool, you see. This is a fantastic and a easy, non-invasive, painless, non-medicine based treatment for bringing our mind to a calm, relaxed state. Another study in Lund University in Sweden, researchers led by Jan Sandquist found that meditation treatment can be as effective as individual cognitive behavioral therapy, especially in patients with depression and anxiety. Remember, the kind of research that I'm referring to are not dhyana practices. These are at best called as dharana practices. Just focusing your mind on your breathing cycle, for instance, is also sometimes referred to as meditation. Brain imaging technology has allowed neuroscientists at the University of Cambridge to identify two opposite ways in which the brain forgets unwanted memories. One by shutting down the remembering system, and the other by facilitating the remembering system to occupy awareness with a substitute memory. Therein comes the secret to controlling our brain waves using the power of alpha brain waves. Well, shutting down is a forceful mechanism that typically happens when the human brain perceives heavy stress. For instance, when the brain is put under severe trauma or pain, the brain shuts down and a person faints. And you wake him up and ask him what happened. He will not remember anything at all. I don't know. I just blanked out and I fainted. So that mechanism is not very powerful and repeatable and scientifically approachable by human beings. It is a defense mechanism by the brain. But the second method of facilitating the remembering system, the memory power system of our brain to occupy awareness with a substitute memory. Supposing there is a wife and a husband and they are fighting with each other. The wife has this powerful visual imagery technique where she often only remembers all the beautiful times that she has been having with her husband all her life. So that substitutes her traumatic experience and she forgives her husband. She doesn't remember whatever happens in the fight. She says it's okay. It's an aberration. It's an exception. I'm okay in you getting upset with me. But I remember only all the fantastic times that you have given me. You remember when I was in the hospital, you came and stood next to me, held my hands and brought flowers and prayed for me. That is the only thing that I remember about you, my dear husband. I do not remember ever you shouting at me or being mean to me. If at all it has happened, it must have happened because of some aberration in your own persona, which is nothing big. I don't want to exaggerate it. So, this ability to choose to remember good things in times of extreme stress is another beautiful defense mechanism that gets developed only when the brain functions at the alpha frequency. Cambridge University researchers found that memory substitution was supported by caudal prefrontal cortex and mid-ventrolateral prefrontal cortex. These two brain regions typically involved in bringing specific memories into awareness in the presence of distracting memories. So, dear friends, the next time you need to clear your mind, remember that you can substitute negative thinking, unwanted memories with more desirable ones. And this tactic will engage a distinct neural pathway that needs to be strengthened while your brain is at the alpha frequency. Does it mean that the neural networks and the brain functioning methods can be altered with meditation? That's exactly what the doctors are doing and the scientists are researching on, especially at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. They are beginning to gain understanding of what those brain changes mean and how they might benefit the meditator. I'm once again only referring to the dharana practice. Just simple chanting, relaxing your brain, thinking of some transcendental methods of the sunrise or the moonrise or the waves in the ocean, etc., could take your brain to an alpha frequency. Just 8 weeks of such 20 minutes meditation every day significantly improved functional connectivity in the brain's network, especially during introspective thought such as retrieving memories. They also observed trends of less atrophy in the hippocampal region. Participants of that study rated the pain they felt while they meditated to be about 40 to 75% less unpleasant than when they just simply rested with their eyes closed. Just a simple breathing technique or a chanting technique or just idle worship or imagery technique could take your brain to function at close to alpha frequency, and these are the wonderful benefits that you can get out of it. What if we have a beautiful method by which we can remain at the alpha frequency? Dear friends, today we did Duriya meditation. When we focus on our own life force at the Duriya chakra, at the Sahasrara chakra, we are meditating over our pineal gland, which is situated around the hippocampal region. When we focus our mind on our own life force pulsation at the Duriya chakra, we experience relaxed focus, stress reduction, positive thinking, accelerated learning, and flow state. The main benefit of increasing our alpha wave production is to improve our performance. Alpha waves help us focus and be more productive. It is said that alpha brain waves are the most rhythmical. So when we are listening, we are more likely to be paying attention to our own inner experience rather than what's going on around us. So this is like the Zen meditation, the Zen zone, where we are beginning to calm our outer conscious mind and allowing ourselves to listen to the inner conscious speak to us. This morning, my mother-in-law came to me. She would every day listen to my deep relaxation audio and she would relax for about 20 minutes. Of late, it seems she is having distracting thoughts and she is unable to relax. On some days, she is able to go into deep relaxation, but on many days, she is unable to go into deep relaxation. Just when during the deep relaxation audio, we tell her to relax and let her go to deep sleep, she is beginning to have deep distractions and all kinds of cross connections of thoughts running in her brain. So she wanted to know what to do to improve it. The answer is very simple, you see, my friend. We need to listen to our brain. We need to listen to our mind giving us ideas and thoughts to observe. Introspection, therefore, is a fundamental practice for us to help remain at the alpha frequency throughout the day. To achieve that alpha frequency, we have to learn the practice of Kundalini meditation. The Kundalini Shakti must be awakened to the Agna Chakra, where we can begin to experience alpha to some extent, not permanently, not in a stable way, but in an oscillating manner. It will come to alpha, but then it will go back to beta. When we meditate at the Sahasrara Chakra, we will permanently experience stable alpha state of the brain. In that state of mind, we begin to experience an elevated state of transcendental consciousness, which prepares us to remain one with that almighty force. It is kind of a promotion, it's a kind of an elevated and improved state of meditation compared to dharana practice. Dhyana is focusing our mind on our own life force, Kundalini Shakti. And hence the Turiya Chakra is also called as Brahmendriya Chakra, Brahma Indriya Chakra, gateway to Brahma, gateway to God. It is from that state that we can go to theta and to delta when we do divine state meditation and the universal magnetic field meditation. When we do the universal magnetic state meditation, we experience the theta frequency, and when we do the divine state meditation, we experience the delta frequency. But the foundation for us to experience such subtle frequencies to realize ourselves begins at dhyana, or the alpha frequency level at the Agna, and at the stable alpha frequency level at the Sahasrara Chakra. The power of the alpha is due to the power of the pineal gland. Without the pineal, there would be no senses, meaning we would have no way to locate food or find a friend, find safety, find comfort and warmth, and the many necessities of everyday life. The pineal gland contains pigment similar to that found in the eyes and is connected to the optic thalami. Hence it controls the actions of light upon our body. The pineal gland is located beneath the cerebral cortex, where the two thalamic hemispheres of the brain join, where the brain regulates consciousness, interprets the body's motory and sensory functions, and produces melatonin, a serotonin derivative that controls our sleep cycle. Melatonin is not only necessary for proper sleep, but it also regulates the onset of puberty and fight against harmful and free radicals. I have spoken in detail about free radicals in another speech. Because the pineal gland is connected through the eyes, the initiation to Duriya Chakra, which helps us to remain at a stable alpha frequency, is done through the power of the eyes of the Divine Master in our Sky Yoga system. Focusing our mind on our own life force at the pineal gland stimulates the pineal, but also the thalamus and the cerebral cortex as well. This pineal gland is only the size of a single grain of rice, they say, but it has claimed to produce dimethyltryptamine or DMT, the most powerful psychedelic and possibly the most powerful psychoactive substance known to man. Pineal gland allows us to directly connect to the spirits in the sky. It has the ability to sense light in complete darkness, manifest full color images, and speak to us through emotions and feelings. Infinite wisdom and knowledge is locked inside you and every human being in this world. But to really experience our inner eye's true potential, we must begin to develop the pineal gland. Sahasrara meditation, Duriya meditation helps us to remain at the alpha frequency and gain all the cosmic abilities of our eternal Divine Father and help us to develop our mind into a state of samadhi, into a state of being one with the bliss, one with that eternal almighty consciousness and reach and remain at ecstasy level. Peace, therefore, is the path towards ecstasy, not pleasure. Pleasure will lead us towards pain. We do not want pain. We do not like pain. We do not want pain for ourselves, and we do not want to cause pain for others in our life either. Pain and pleasure are in the opposite direction of peace and ecstasy. Peace comes to us only when our brain begins to function at the alpha frequency between 8 and 13 cycles per second. To do that, learn to meditate and continue to do introspection practices in your silence. Remain aware of your thoughts. Analyze the root cause of your thoughts. Find out why your thoughts originate and discriminate between good thoughts and bad thoughts. Thoughts that will result in actions causing pain for self or others now or in the future, physically or mentally, are sinful thoughts, harmful thoughts, bad thoughts, or negative thinking. Positive thinking, therefore, can easily replace the negative thinking when our brain is functioning at the alpha frequency. Supposing one is feeling lonely and wants to get rid of loneliness, he would seek the comfort of a friendship. This is an example of how a new behavior stems from a trigger, which is the old thinking pattern. The new friendship could lead to further complications in one's life. Finding the Divine Almighty Force as our true partner and holding hands of that Almighty Force is the ultimate replacement thought that could drive loneliness away from our life forever. To achieve this, your brain must begin to function at the alpha level of frequency, and you must remain in silence and take a superimposable thought, such as being one with that Almighty Force all the time. The other end of the mind is the Almighty Force. So remaining one with that Almighty Force becomes an easy job when our brain begins to function at the alpha frequency. Remembering that becomes an easy job also when we constantly give strength to the new thought pattern in our brain and loneliness gets driven away from our life. Likewise, we can get rid of unwanted, undesirable thoughts from our mind, unwanted, unfulfillable desires from our mind, and harmful anger can easily be neutralized. Worries can be eradicated. This will lead us towards realizing Who am I? We are a fraction of the totality. The fraction demands, totality supplies. With this beautiful, divine, wonderful message, I conclude the speech today on Alpha meditation and the power of the Alpha brain waves. Thank you all for being there. Thank you for being a great source of inspiration for me to do what I am doing. God bless you all. By the grace of the divine blessing, our Guru, may you and your family live in good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Be blessed by the divine. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful, highly informative speech. From the Greeks of beta, alpha, theta to Sanskrit terms of pratyagara, dharana, Brahma Indriya. You explained everything in such short speech. And ranging from like Brown University to monkey brain stimulation, melatonin, serotonin, whole lot of information. I'm sure all of us will have to listen again and again to grasp it completely. Icing of the cake, how to apply this for our benefits. Fraction demands, totality supplies. Very perfect speech, sir. Thank you very much. Now the forum is open for discussions, questions. Please click on the raise hand button in your Zoom app to raise your question to our professor. While you prepare for your questions, we have very important announcements to make. Please emphasize all your near and dear to learn and practice Kayakalpa Yoga. You can easily learn Kayakalpa Yoga from your home by visiting website kayakalpayoga.edu.in or by downloading the Android application. Sky Yoga courses are also available at online through kundaliniyoga.edu.in app. Please check it out. Our monthly journal Anbuli is available in Android application now. Get access to the premium contents of our Guru Yogiraj Sri Vethathiri Maharshi speeches at very nominal subscription. Every day in Anbuli app, we upload Swamiji's rare audios and videos. Make use of it. Connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Sky Yoga TV to listen to all past speeches of our professors. Karma Yoga Principles of Vedatriyam suggests donating 1% of your income to the good causes of society. Please donate generously to Well Community Service Center through vedatri.edu.in or through Anbuli app. You would also get Section 80G exemptions on Income Tax Act. Now we will start the Q&A session. We request the participants to state the question directly. First, we are unmuting Mr. Swaminathan. Please go ahead with your question, sir. Mr. Swaminathan, we have unmuted from our end. You have to unmute and ask the question, sir. Mr. Swaminathan, you pressed unmute and again you pressed mute. Yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, thank you. This is Swaminathan from Chennai. It's a beautiful session. Thank you. Like, I would like to ask, whenever we are in the, say, for example, in the sleep, not in the deep sleep, say, for example, wherein we get dreams. So, what is it? The brain life cycle we have, whether we will be in the alpha cycle or the beta cycle. So that is my one question, and the second question is could you please explain about is there any principle of rebirth which is accepted in Vethathiri Maharshi thing? Because I know Vethathiri Maharshi is more similar to Advaita philosophy. So Advaita philosophy believes on the rebirth. Does Vethathiri Maharshi believes on the rebirth? Thank you.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். When the brain goes to sleep, it is understood that it will sleep in 4 stages. It will be low beta, high alpha, that is starting state, where your brain is just going into a dream state, where you are aware of your surroundings, the sounds, disturbances, people moving around. When you are woken up during that early sleep, you will say, I wasn't sleeping at all. I was actually awake. Tell me, what can I do for you? So it'd be very easy for you to come out of your sleep during that time. Then you will start to sleep a little deeply. You will get dreams and you will remember some of your dreams. And that is a state of alpha frequency. This is the second stage of sleep. The third and the fourth stage of sleep is deep sleep, where you begin to experience high theta and low beta, perhaps some high delta also you will experience during that time. This is called as the REM sleep. This is a sleep where you have rapid eye movements and you are into some vivid imaginations and you are processing the information of today's experience. Short-term memory is processed during that time. You will not remember the dreams that you probably had during that time. You are really in deep sleep. So conscious awareness is cut off during that sleep. So the reverse happens. You will come out of delta into theta, into alpha, into beta. When that alpha frequency moves into beta frequency, brain reconnects itself and you begin to vividly remember the early morning dreams. And that is the time when you should get out of bed. If you continue to sleep, only dreams will be there and your brain will start to drain its energy and you could feel quite tired during the rest of the day if you oversleep, that is. So this is how the sleep pattern happens and the brain waves are recorded during these different sleep patterns. The second question should be, you should read the book by Swamiji called as Life Before Birth and Life After Death. That will give you complete explanation of what Swamiji understood intuitively and believed to be. It's a topic for a completely different day to discuss. Be blessed by the divine. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you, Professor. The next question is from Lakshmi Priya Sembakam. We are unmuting, ma'am. Please go ahead with your question. Lakshmi Priya, ma'am, we are unmuting from our end. Yeah, please.
Be blessed by the divine, Professor.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். My question is, will you please explain about DMT that you mentioned about it, dimethyl tryptamine, something like that?
You should listen to the speech once again. It will give you details of that. And there are plenty of material available on the internet on DMT. So essentially, it is, you can call it as the spirit molecule, if you would like to call it. It is considered a powerful hallucinogenic drug, as one would like to call it as. It has all kinds of beautiful effects in the human brain. It is an intense experience of dimethyl tryptamine. Dimethyl tryptamine is a chemical substance. It occurs in many plants also, in many animals also it is there. It is believed to be a derivative and a structural analog of tryptamine. So it's a pretty complex experience that we undergo sometimes when there is a production of this is in healthy manner. But if it is in heightened manner, it could really control our brain and we could go into serious hallucinations. So many people have attempted to take a DMT as a controlled substance. For instance, it is available as a medicine in the United States for people to be prescribed by brain doctors. But it is illegal in many states, in many countries also across the world. You cannot take it. It's a chemical that's easily available, but it's a chemical that is naturally produced in human mind. It is human brain, that is. No one knows for sure how it produced and how it is that, but there is a study that says that pineal gland produces it in the brain and releases it when we go into the deep sleep, alpha and theta frequency. Very small controlled doses of it is released in our brain that are responsible for us to have such deep state of mind. In fact, There has been study which is unproven yet that says the near-death experience for human beings is also because of this DMT release in the brain, beyond which there is very little information that I know of. But whatever little I have studied and I have understood, I have shared it with you so far.
Be blessed by the divine, sir. Thank you so much.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you, Professor. Any more questions? People who are interested can raise their hand. Yeah, one more hand. Professor Ilamaru Sekar from Bahrain. Sir, we are unmuting you. You can go ahead with your question.
Vargo Alamadan, sir. It was really a really wonderful topic, the power of alpha brainwaves. Apart from the Sky Forum uses, like for beginners, what would be the simplest means of remaining in the alpha brainwaves if they are not a practitioner, let's say? How you can give some sort of an explanation on this, sir? Be blessed by the divine.
Decent sleep at correct time, not at odd hours, but at correct regular hours, periodic hours, say 10 in the night to 5 in the morning, will help you produce reasonably healthy, intense alpha brain waves that will remain with you for several hours during the course of the day. Listening to good music can produce alpha brain waves. Chanting of certain beneficial, calming verses could be from Swamiji's books or Swamiji's poems or Siddha poems, or it could be any other practices that you may know of or your family may be recommending to you, could help you to go into the similar state of mind. But generally in that state of mind, people feel calm and they might end up going to sleep. So please remember that in your mind. But well, it is useful for children. Idol worship is useful for children to experience levels of alpha. Pranayama techniques, simple inhale, exhale, deep inhale, deep exhale, our Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, Tandura Shuddhi Pranayama, or our neuromuscular breathing exercises that Swamiji has systematized and given to us. All these exercises will help us. In fact, all of the exercises, even Magarasana, can give beneficial alpha brain waves. But remember that only during Duriya meditation you can experience a stable state of that alpha and not go into sleep. Remain completely aware and conscious, which would help you to introspect and understand the karmic imprints and rewrite them with the power of superimposition. So all of these methods could help you concentrating on a particular object or concentrating on reading books or doing deep research into philosophical activities or into brain developing activities for children has also proven to produce beneficial alpha frequencies.
Thank you, Professor. Next question is from Radha Ravichandran. We are unmuting you, ma'am. You can ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for a very deep, thoughtful speech, sir. I have two questions. One is we, as you said, we sometimes go to theta, sometimes delta level also in the deep sleep state. When suddenly we get up, we feel like again going back and we go back to that state also. Can it be equated to the Vidyadhitam state? That is at the divine state in Shivakalam. One question. Second question, sir. What is the sleeping dose tablets do? Do you have any idea, sir? What does it do to the brain? Whether we have any equal thing, that is, can meditation, deep meditation be equalized to that sleeping dose? Thank you, sir.
Deep sleep gives you the experience of that theta and delta frequency. Delta you may not experience. High delta is possible. Around 4 cycles per second is possible. But delta frequency is not fully experienceable, possible. theta frequency is possible to be experienced during sleep, but you will not know that you are in that state. The reason is it's a state where you have lost your consciousness. You not a conscious awareness state. So that is a significant difference between Duryatita meditation and deep sleep. In deep sleep, you experience, but you lost your consciousness. But in Duryatita meditation, you are definitely going to experience the deep sleep, but remain completely aware and remain conscious. But one is not a substitute for the other. Please remember that sleep is necessary for repairing the brain and repairing the cells in the body. So 7 hours, 6 hours of sleep for meditators, it will come down to 6, maybe 5 hours of sleep, but difficult to go down to 5. 6 hours is barest minimum that I have heard of for normal meditators. 7 hours of sleep is for normal human beings. For old age people, youngsters, maybe 8 hours of sleep is required. For babies, they may sleep up to 12 to 14 hours. I'm talking children of below 3 years, 4 years. So it is not a substitute for meditation. Meditation is not a substitute for sleep either. It will improve the quality of sleep. It will improve your recovery period and repair mechanism in the body and the mind. And it will also rejuvenate you much faster. When you do meditation regularly, you will sleep easier. And sleeplessness or sleep-related disorder today is one of the biggest problems, which is why they take sedative hypnotics or the sleeping pills. These pills induce or maintain sleep. There are certain chemicals like benzodiazepines, barbiturates, or various type of Valium, Xanax, Activon, Librium. These are all anti-anxiety medicines. So they increase drowsiness. Okay, it is induced through certain chemicals, and therefore not recommended for long-term treatment of sleeping-related problems. Okay, it could depress the central nervous system and therefore cause sedation. Okay, so the sleeping pills and sedatives, even your regular cough syrup, can induce certain sleeping state of mind, state of brain. Basically, it's a chemical induced mechanism where certain brain hormones such as melatonin is produced, induced by chemical reaction. These chemicals are produced, which calms the brain, and it goes into sleep. But what happens is it creates a habit. Okay. And as the habits get created, you will start depending on the sleeping tablet, and that could lead to dangerous side effects. And it could increase depression, burning sensation in the hands, arms, feet, and legs when you wake up. Appetite will reduce, constipation, diarrhea. People will not be able to remain stable. They can't maintain balance, dizziness, daytime drowsiness, dry mouth, gas trouble, headache, heartburn, impairment. They can't hear things properly. I have seen these things happen for a very close relative of mine who was dependent for a long time for sleeping tablets because she was suffering from schizophrenia. But she came out of it much later. Our meditation and various techniques helped her to come out of it. But during the time when she was going through these sleeping tablet process of going to bed, she had all kinds of uncontrollable shaking of the part of the body, hands and all will shake. Unusual dreams she will get. She will start shouting in the night. Suffered a lot. I've seen that happen. So it's not a good thing to go to bed by producing these chemicals artificially in the brain through sleeping pill or the sedatives.
Thank you, Professor. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor, for answering our questions and sharing your divine insights with us. Would request all participants time to say thanks, express our gratitude. Let us come into Turiya state to thank our professors, Professor Uma Shrikant for Turiya meditation and Professor Krishmurli Ishwar for this wonderful speech. Be blessed by the divine, their good health, be blessed by divine, their loving family, be blessed by the divine, their divine services, be blessed by the divine. Thank you so much again, sir, for joining us today. Please keep us enlightening with such more valuable and interesting topics. We are happy to bring online programs live from Arya Temple of Consciousness tomorrow, 17th September. Being New Moon Day, 5:30 early in the morning, you will have Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation in Tamil. Morning 6 o'clock, physical exercise. 7 o'clock, in English, we will have a Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation. 11 o'clock, we have Professor Veerappan delivering lecture on Guru in Guru. Evening 6 p.m. we have meditation in Tamil, Panchabhuta Navagraham, and evening 6:30 p.m. retelecast of morning speech. Evening 7:30 p.m. we have a Telugu Turiyatita meditation, and followed by that we have a topic on benefits of Kayakalpa Yoga by Professor Ramachandran from Secunderabad. Please share the invite with all your friends and relatives. Let everyone take part in this spiritual journey. Taking this opportunity, we thank our beloved President Padma Shri Arulnidhi S.K. Mailanandam for his leadership, guidance, and support. See you all tomorrow with another interesting session. This is Naresh signing off from Aliyar World Community Service Center IT team. Be blessed by the divine. Good night.